Alrighty guys, what's going on? It is GZTV back with another video, back with another 2025 movie review. We are here. Man, I'm not even gonna lie, 2025 might be one of the best years for movies in a long time. We have another absolute banger with one battle after another. The other movie besides Sinners, which we reviewed already, get very massive Oscars consideration, and it fucking deserves it. And this right here, one battle after another, is just another great movie from the last year. This movie is wild, like actually wild in a way that works. Again, I don't like comparing to the other reviews I've done, but it's not like Sinners where I was kind of sitting there confused and not really connecting. This is chaotic, experimental, funny as hell. It's even more funny than Roofman. It's probably the funniest movie I watched from last year. It's emotional. It somehow still tells a compelling story. And the biggest cosign I can give it, my dad, who actually watched this with me, this is the first 2025 film he actually watched with me, who has seen a lot of movies, was locked in. He loved this movie. Me and him were laughing our asses off to this. It's great. He came in like 45 minutes into the movie, was laughing the rest of the time when, you know, Benicio meets up with Leo. We'll get into all the plot points in a little bit, but holy shit. I honestly wish he watched the whole thing with me because I probably would have understood even more. But man, this is one hell of a ride. I am so ready to talk about this thing. And getting into the premise, I'm not gonna try to like spoil anything for you guys, but I need to go into detail because I was kind of confused myself, some of the stuff that this movie went for. So basically this movie follows Leonardo DiCaprio's character who, yeah, his name's Bob or his name's Pat, Ghetto Pat. I don't know. Honestly, they throw so many names and code words at you that it's confusing as hell at first. And the movie is a little bit confusing, and I'm definitely going to acknowledge that here in a little bit. But he's essentially this former revolutionary type dude because his girlfriend was a revolutionary and he kind of got tied into that lifestyle. He gets dragged back into this chaotic political world involving extremist groups, secret operations, and just straight up madness. This is a wild fucking movie, and it seems like it was kind of advertised to look like a Western film. Like, look at the fucking poster. It was advertised to seem like a very intense movie, and yes, it definitely has intense moments, but dude, it is nothing like what you think it is. At the same time, there is a strong family element though with his daughter, and the movie balances this weird mix of like revolution and the whole political nature of that, espionage, comedy, family drama, and the best way I can describe it is it's like No Country for Old Men meets Tarantino meets Harold and Kumar with a little bit of Far Cry 6 energy thrown in there just for plot standpoint from the game. That sounds insane because it absolutely is. I think this movie wears a lot of influences on its sleeve, takes a lot of things that have worked with movies in the past, and just absolutely runs with it. So let's get into it. Getting into the good, I mean, let's start with the biggest thing. This movie is so fucking fun. It is so experimental. It is different than so many movies you have seen in your life. Again, I named some influences, but this thing stands on its own as just a fantastic movie. Like, genuinely hilarious in ways I did not expect. Like, I did not expect this movie to go there with the sex jokes, anything like that. Like, I had no idea this was supposed to be a comedy, and then once it kicks in, it is fucking incredible. It is such a surprise just what this movie is. The entire movie is fucking good. I could put the whole damn thing. There are so many memorable scenes. Me and my dad were just dying laughing. Like, the entire back 2/3 of the film, the last like hour and a half of the movie, we were laughing our asses off. It was great. Leonardo DiCaprio, holy fucking shit. He should have won Best Actor. He was great, both from a comedic standpoint as well as from a serious family man who goes through these emotions, goes through these intense situations. Who knew this man could be this funny though? I think that's the major standpoint I want to discuss with his character. I think that's the best part of his character. Holy shit. He plays this dumb, stoner, out of his depth American. It works perfectly. Like, he's an American working with black people and like Hispanic people who are immigrants, and he's trying to be revolutionary and trying to make a change to the world. And I don't know like if he met this girl through this or he met her and then she dragged him through the lifestyle. They didn't really make that clear, like the history of their relationship, but still, he is very much out of his depth. He is very much out of place compared to these other people who seem so casual about things like they've been there before. It is so funny. The sunglasses at night, like wearing the blinders, was so goddamn funny. Missing the roof jump and then like getting hit on the tree, it was like some shit out of a fucking cartoon. And then he like turns the corner, immediately gets tased, and the physical comedy of DiCaprio, like exaggerating him getting tased, was so fucking funny. I was dying. That was probably one of the funniest moments of the movie. Me and my dad absolutely loved it. The whole like let me speak to your supervisor moment too, like there's so many scenes, and even for a lot of these movies that are like 3 hours long, damn near, I mean, with a theater experience, this movie is over 3 hours long, which I didn't watch in the theaters, I watched on HBO Max. But even then, a lot of those movies, they don't have super memorable scenes. It's the concise movies that have those scenes, and this movie has a lot of amazing scenes. Like, he's talking to Comrade Josh, and the guy's like, what time is it? He's like, I don't fucking know, I don't remember the code, just take me to the rendezvous point. My name is Bob Ferguson. And he like knows the other parts of the code but doesn't know the most important part. All this passcode shit, it is absolute gold. It is comedic gold. It is done so well. He's basically a parody of a clueless American getting dragged into global political chaos, and it's one of the funniest portrayals of that I've ever seen. This movie absolutely nails its comedy. I don't know how long this video is going to be, by the way. I only need to say what needs to be said. And then Benicio del Toro is kind of like the second star in command. I know Teyana Taylor was a big part of the first part of the movie, and Chase Infiniti becomes like a big hero almost of the back half. But Benicio del Toro was a side character at first. Like, he was a karate instructor in this town, Bactan something. I can't remember what they call that area. He was an instructor, and he becomes such a big part of the story. It is so awesome. When he comes in, that's when the movie really locks in. I think the second that he becomes a factor in the story, rather than just some side character that like is a part of them adapting to their new life, you know, under new aliases. Like, him and Leo together for that stretch of the movie is absolutely elite. From them like running through the building, and there's all the immigrants, and he's like so casual about it, like, yeah, go, get over here, grab the children. They're basically raiding our shit. And like, Leonardo's breaking this fucked up place. It's like a dilapidated house because no one would suspect anyone would live there. And he's like, oh, sorry about that, man. He's like, the fuck ever. Like, the carelessness is so comedic from Benicio's character, and the way he plays him is great. And it has actually been quite some time since I've seen Benicio del Toro in a movie. I know he does them all the time, but holy fuck, it is so awesome. Their chemistry is insane. They bounce off each other perfectly. Also, the supporting cast is insane. I wouldn't even call Sean Penn a supporting cast member because he is a huge part of the movie. Him as Lockjaw, he's great, and I know he's been in like Carlito's Way and a couple of those more militarized films, so this role was fucking perfect for him. He's probably my favorite character in the entire movie. I don't know, in between him and Leo, I don't know, it's crazy. Teyana Taylor's character is chaotic. She's a fucking wild person, and sometimes you kind of hate her for that, and her mom's kind of a bitch about the relationship between her and Leo. They say the actor's name even though they're different characters. I mean, the whole subplot with Lockjaw getting manipulated, embarrassed at the beginning with like him getting an erection, trying to rise through that supremacist group, it is fucking madness. Like, he goes and meets with them. They're called the Christmas Adventurers. Now everything in this movie is basically told in code because it's basically a spy movie. It's an espionage movie with revolution, political, social commentary flavor, which is super unique to me. But he goes in there and he's like lying about having an interracial relationship, and then it comes out that this kid might be his, and then they have this scene where it's like, I hate to break it to you, but it's black, and like they're super racist people. Crazy. And it's even funny how one of the members drives a fucking Mustang. That is such a stereotype. I love it. It's fucking crazy. That is one of the most ridiculous and like memorable plot lines for a character I have seen, at least for all year and damn near ever. That shit was so awesome. And also the movie, I can just absolutely respect that it takes risk. Again, we talk about social commentary, and we have to acknowledge the fact that cancel culture is still very much a thing nowadays. You know, it became a big thing in COVID, but it's very much a big thing nowadays still. But it is a racial comedy. It has political satire. It's an action movie. It's an emotional story all in one. And instead of preaching at you, it kind of just makes fun of everything. And it's awesome. Like, I don't know how to say this. She's black. I said that before, but that's so fucking funny. Like, that's the kind of humor that could go wrong so easily. But here it lands because the movie isn't taking itself too seriously. And I'm not racist. I'm not laughing at that, but it's dark humor. It's fucking funny. And then the daughter storyline, like Lila, I think her name was, like her fake name. I think her name originally was Charlene, but she like steps up at the end. That was such a cool storyline. Parking the car, like making the guy crash into it because it's like right over the hill, reciting the code, becoming straight up badass, killing him, and being so hysterical and like paranoid that she almost ends up killing her dad. It's fucking crazy. And I gotta say, this movie has so many memorable scenes. I did say that before, I guess, but holy shit, this thing is a ride. Crazy. It's rare for a movie this bloated to be this fucking awesome and engaging, but man, 2025 delivers, and this is another example. So getting into the bad and the okay, there are some mixed and bad aspects. This movie isn't all good, even though this, similar to The Long Walk, is going to be a super duper positive review, and I think those two movies in terms of the tier they're at are very comparable for me. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. Two movies from last year are one of the best movies I've ever seen. That's fucking crazy. And we gotta be real here for the bad. This movie is confusing at times, like especially the first 20 to 30 minutes of the film. I think there's too many names, there's too many code words, there's too many moving parts. I'm definitely going to acknowledge that because because certainly it gets kind of cleared up later in the film, but there is a whole moment where I'm like, why the hell am I even watching this? I don't understand a fucking thing. And they kind of drop you in the middle of something. It seems like when they're like doing all the raids and they're helping the immigrants and they're robbing banks, they drop you in the middle of stuff. It's a weird way to start the movie. It just takes a minute. You're just sitting there like, who is this? What are we doing? What are the character motives? It is what it is. And also the tone does feel messy early on. You don't really know what it's supposed to be. The climax of the movie is Benicio taking control, but you don't know if it's supposed to be a serious political movie, a comedy, or a thriller. Kind of has it all in one. Doesn't fully click until later what this movie is trying to do, so I will say the beginning of the movie is kind of bad for me. The length is noticeable. Like, again, I said that there are a lot of memorable and engaging scenes and whatnot, but I will admit it is a pretty fucking long movie. I didn't feel it too much because I was entertained, but yeah, it is long. I can definitely acknowledge the fact that if you don't like long movies, you're not going to like this. Not every storyline is perfectly balanced. Of course, some things still get left in the dust because there's so much to be covered. There's a lot going on, and sometimes it feels like maybe we didn't need all this. I will say they did neglect Teyana Taylor's character about 40 minutes into the movie. She does not show up until like a letter at the end, and she doesn't even make a cameo for that scene, so that's a bit strange. The beginning is a little sexual. I know that's a little bit nitpicky, but kind of made me uncomfortable. The first 20 minutes of the movie made me super uncomfortable. All this grabbing dicks and like giving head, and like it's fucking wild. All the nasty words and what the fuck. And the relationship between Sean Penn and Teyana Taylor just looked fucking wrong. It looked crazy. It's definitely something to note depending on who you're watching with too. Like my mom and sister were walking around the fucking house, and I literally had to turn this shit off because I'm like, well, I don't want them to have to watch that with me. Like, you know what I mean? I'm fine with it. I'm desensitized because I've seen so many movies, but it's like, this shit is fucking weird. I had to pause it. It's funny, you know? So getting into just kind of my mixed thoughts. I think the filmmaking style is definitely interesting, and there's certainly moments that don't work. Overall, I am mixed on just how the movie was shot and how it was curated, how it was put together, and like the style of it. At times it does feel like experimental, chaotic, almost low budget or cheap, especially the chase scene. I don't know if this was intentionally done, but they had the sequence where they're driving down the road and the camera is super bumpy. I don't know if that's supposed to show intensity. That does seem like a pretty aged thing to do as a filmmaker. I can't remember who made this film, but he is a very popular director. He directed Boogie Nights, directed a bunch of music videos, but I'll put him on the screen. It kind of adds to the personality. I don't even think it's a bad thing, like how that looks. It does add personality. It does add some like non-roboticness. It's not all the way a Hollywood movie, and I guess that's another thing I could have said in the good, is that even with a star-studded cast, this does not feel like a super big Hollywood Oscar bid movie. This feels a lot more tame for some reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe because it's funny compared to Sinners. And just getting into the political messaging, it's different. I mean, unlike a movie like Sinners that kind of beats you over the head with it, this movie almost parodies it, and I can understand that that works for some people, doesn't work for others. Maybe there's some offensive jokes being told in this movie, but overall, I think it's fine. It doesn't take a hard stance. It just shows the absurdity of everything. Maybe that's an issue for some people, that it doesn't really take a stand. I actually like the approach of it, just kind of being in the middle and like almost being a satire. I think those are the best type of comedies. Plenty of movies like that out there. But just the genre blending, there is a lot going on. Espionage, road trip, family drama, comedy, political satire, it's everything. I mean, this movie has fucking everything. And while it mostly works, it is a little all over the place. I will say, if you get confused, if you get kind of lost in the sauce with this one, I completely understand you, but to me, that is almost a part of the charm. So that's kind of all I have to say. Let's get into the review. So getting into a review, my final thoughts, at the end of the day, this is one of the most entertaining movies I have seen from 2025. Again, I know we are in February of 2026, and it's a little late for me to be watching a lot of these movies for the first time, but this is one of the best. I mean, we're like 3 for 4 at least for 2025 movies. Maybe even 3.5 for Sinners, because I somewhat liked it. This movie's not perfect. It's messy, confusing at times, and definitely chaotic, but man, it fucking works. I really enjoy this. This is what I wanted Sinners to be almost. Like, take the concept it had and turn it into something fun like this. It's a bold, experimental, risky movie that actually connects and entertains. You've got incredible ensemble cast and incredible performances. You have hilarious moments. You have emotional beats. You have wild, unforgettable scenes that it's shock value, but it's great shock value. And it's a movie that doesn't play it safe at all. It doesn't hold back its punches. It's going for the fucking throat, man. And honestly, any movie that can keep me and my dad locked in like that, that is a win. That was one of the most fun movies I've ever watched with my dad. So it's definitely always going to hold a place in my heart, and I can't wait for him to rewatch the first 45 minutes just so he can have more context behind it. It's a win. I think this is an absolute must-watch. This is up there with Sinners, obviously, like the big Oscar bids, movies you kind of have to watch from last year. I'm giving One Battle After Another a 9.2 out of 10, though. I think it is basically on the same tier as The Long Walk. These are two absolutely fucking elite movies. I don't care. It's messy at times, but insanely entertaining, unique. One of the most memorable films I have ever reviewed on the channel. I know that I throw that word around a lot, but holy fucking shit, dude. I don't know. 2025 was just fucking special. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, though. As always, it has been your boy, GZTV, giving you guys these 2025 movie reviews, and I want to refrain, kind of make an announcement here, refrain from the franchises and deal with solo films, because I know things are going to come up. So I'm going to hold back on Predator Badlands. I'm going to hold back on the Final Destination film. I'm going to hold back on the new Superman film. We're going to get into Good Fortune, and I think we're going to get into Dangerous Animals. So with that being said, peace out, everyone.